hold on. That is better. Now, do you ever wonder what life would like if you actually follow through what you wished as a kid? You know, growing up, we all said we all had this list of what we wanted to be when we grew up. And some of us, we wanted to be doctors and lawyers and race car drivers and fighter pilots, all this sort of shit, you know. But we wanted to be positive. But we had goals, we had all this stuff we wanted to do, but never actually done it, you know. Never really done it. So, I wanted to be a couple of things whenever I grew up. I think that I never thought I'd be doing this, you know. I started 11 years ago on my first channel, 11 years ago. I didn't have this going gray beard or going gray hair. My hair was still dark and stuff, and my beard was still dark as well. Some of you, even on this channel, started to see the change. And when I hit 40, I never thought I would talk about this. Never thought I would, but here we go. I've been doing a lot of thinking, which some of you don't think. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Nobody takes the time to think. I can think later. Fuck you. I want to... Shit. So, it's one problem that we have in this world, that nobody takes the time to think. Within the last couple of years, people's been really doing stupid shit and not thinking for themselves. You know, it's all... This is the feely generation. This is the, oh my feelings generation, you know. You don't think with your feelings. And there's feelings. There's feelings. But it's about time we all need to take the time to think for once in our lives. Because there's not enough of it. Everything people have done with the last couple of years is like tunnel vision to them. Tunnel vision. Now you know how you get punched in the nose and you got this tunnel vision and shit. You know. Well, I'm dealing with some issues right now. I don't want to talk about it, but maybe later. And it's giving me the time to think. I am 46 years old. And I will be 47 in January of the following year. That'll make me 3 years close to hitting 50. Am I ready for it? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. But I've been doing this for 11 years. But on this channel, I've been doing it for 7. So even though I've been on YouTube technically for over a decade, but I've been on this channel for almost every 7 years in December. I've been looking at what's been going on here, and yesterday there was a shooting in Chicago. And people wanted to cancel July 4th because of this race thing. And that's when I did the video yesterday. And we all have to take the time to think in our lives. You know, you have young people who need to take the time to actually think for once in their pathetic life. Because all you see is a shooting that was the footage was released. And when they hear about, a cop shooting, and here's a young black guy, 25, oh, we gotta protest. We want justice. Come out. This is why some of you don't fucking think. You assume the guy's skin color, oh, we need justice. No, you need fucking common sense. It don't matter if he was firing at the cops and they shoot back at him and kill him. We need justice. No, you need a slap in the face of reality here. We all know about the shooting in Atlanta by a Wendy's. Okay. Some of you didn't get the full. You just heard black guy shot, black guy killed by cop. They're all on, but you didn't get the full story because the media twisted, they edited it to make it look good, which technically it looked like shit. Now, Rod Brooks was a guy that was killed in Atlanta. But you look past where he fell asleep in a Wendy's drive-thru. Fell asleep. And later found out that he was under the influence. Cops wanted him to do a sobriety test. He did it twice. He failed twice. And before arresting him, they asked him they asked him questions. They asked him questions. And the guy was awfully drunk. He was hammered, driving under the influence. Someone from the drive-thru called 911. Cop came out. Guy was asleep at the wheel in a Wendy's drive-thru. Now, it got so bad that the attorney automatically was going for the death penalty until he lost his run as a DA. There was no investigation. There's no investigation. The DA says, we're going to charge these two officers with capital murder. Time out. You just cannot charge them with capital murder unless you do an investigation. Video shows he was being put under arrest for driving under influence. He was intoxicated. Wanted to put the cuffs on the guy. You all saw it. He attacked them. One charge. First charge, driving under the influence. That's DUI. 2, second charge, assault on a police officer. Third charge, fleeing the scene with the officer's weapon in his hand. The guy ran. 2 attempts to tase one of the cops. That's what happens when you do something stupid. You get shot. Race played none of that. No one made him to drive drunk. No one made him fall asleep at the wheel and when he drive through. He did it himself. But within 24 hours, the DA charged the officer with capital murder. But that went away. Why? The DA rose to judgment. Big mistake. Big mistake. So what happened? Dumbasses who jumped the fucking gun burned Wendy's down. Was someone's place where they work. Which was also caused by a bunch of dumb idiots who were so blinded by tunnel vision, by their emotions and shit, which they should be thinking, we want justice. No, you want an investigation, you stupid fuck. Instead of taking the time to think, think like, okay, well, we need a investigation. Let's get that first. Then we'll think about the justice, which technically is the guy's fault. The reason he put himself there. Well, the cop was white. Should it make a difference if the cop was black or Latino or Asian? No, it shouldn't make a damn difference, you know? Now we got this Jalen, what's his name? Jalen Walker shooting. Now, this is another blunder gone bad. Human blunder gone bad. Someone young put himself in that position himself. Nobody put him there but himself. Now, if I was in that position, and I wore a ski mask, running from the cops, they had a gun in the car, that would not look right for me if I was in that position. It wouldn't look right for me if I was shooting at cops while running, because I would already be guilty. I would already be guilty. You know? And and we need to start making a race thing when anybody can get shot by a cop. No matter what skin color you are. It shouldn't fucking matter. You know? They think that if they make it a race thing, they'll get sympathy. Why do you want sympathy? You deserve it. You know, if a member of your family does something stupid, and they get themselves shot. They're running from the cops, firing back at them. They're guilty already. They got a gun in the car, wearing a ski mask. What was this guy doing that made him run from the cops and fire at him? And then running from the scene wearing a ski mask. That's a question that should be asked. What was he doing? What made him run from the cops? What was the 911 call? Let's hear it. But we all see ourselves asking the question, you know, keep it peaceful. Hopefully it can be peaceful. Not like what it was in 2020. We need parents like this one mom that her son was at a riot and she saw him and she was whooping his ass all the way home. This kid was not thinking one bit. This kid needed a brain. This kid had no sense, so his mom beat it into him. A black mom. Oh yeah, a black mom beating the shit out of her son for being stupid. making a bad decision. Thought it was cool to wear all black and be violent. His mom caught him. Once he saw his mom, holy shit, hell was freezing over. I'm getting my ass whooped. And the thing is, the kid deserved it. You know, she's a single mom. Raising, 4 kids? And her son's a dumbass, so she had to beat it at, smack it out of him. Hey, you know, I mean, when you parents like that, you know, smack the. What are you doing out there? You're the best. And the thing is, most of these are coming either from single parent homes or a good home life, you know, educated, but all that went out the window. All that went out the window. Gone. When is everybody going to start thinking for change? Because we all need to do a lot of thinking here, you know. I mean, you have Antifa in Portland doing more damage each time they're out there. The other one's out there doing the damage, you know. Anybody who goes up against them, oh my God, we're being assaulted. No. People are tired of all this. They've had enough. Enough is enough. And keep it peaceful. Let's not fall back to 30 years ago. You know, during the riot in LA, which cost $1 billion in damages and nearly, 30 lives lost? You know? And, we know you're angry, but shit. You're torching someone's home, someone's business, you know? You had a black elderly guy, man, crying because they torched his business. A black guy whose business they torched. Because we're angry. Yeah, but do it in a positive way where nobody gets hurt, dies, and loses a whole more business, man. This is what happened after the criminal George Floyd died. Terribly. Could have taken the guy to the hospital, but no, they had to kill him. You had a black firefighter, okay? A black firefighter who worked his ass off to open up a business, and they torched it. You know? And then you see him be interviewed, but here you see a bunch of black kids taking his safe full of cash. You know, why you want to take shit from a guy who worked his ass off his whole life? You're robbing from his kids. It may have been his business, but the money was his kids' money. Put him through college. No. But you all decided to get stupid and loot, and take shit, which if I was the owner, I would have shot a few of you fuckers. Myself. If I was a business owner. You loot my business, I'll put a cap in your ass. You know. But after remembering what that one guy said in Ferguson, okay, this like after Mike Brown died, and this guy was a resident. This guy was born and raised in Ferguson, Missouri, and this guy saw everything. He was talking about they were busting people in. You know, there was about 2 or 3 buses that came in here, and he pointed where the buses were stopped. Right. So all this looting was planned. No. Instead of being a peaceful protest, they brought people in on buses to loot, set fires and shit. Just like all over 2020. People being bussed in, looting, stealing, businesses set on fire, cars being stolen. They found one of the cars in someone's driveway. The guy that stole it, he's in jail. He's in prison. He's in jail. He's in jail. And now you're seeing dumbasses twerking on an ambulance while they're putting a guy who was just either shot or stabbed or whatnot in an ambulance. You got dumb motherfuckers on an ambulance. You got dumbasses alongside of it while these trifling skanks twerking, preventing I am pissed. Preventing the EMTs from taking the guy to the hospital. Because if you're gonna act like a skank, that's probably going to be your next employment. Because nobody's thinking, nobody's using their head, man. I mean, look. You're acting like a fool. No. You're acting like a bunch of idiots. And I mean, I don't know. I just think that all this is complete bullshit. And they released the footage of the shooting. But I do agree. 60 shots was way too much, way too excessive. But it was still justified. I agree with that. It was justified, but I do agree it was excessive. 60 rounds? There was a footage about a few years ago of this guy driving a minivan, hauling ass, running red lights, and he missed the officer by that much. And they chased his ass, and when he wrecked, he rolled, and he was thrown out of the minivan, out cold. Wasn't moving. About 6 to 8 to 9 cops started beating on him, and he sued the officers and got a pretty chunk of change. And you know, this is what happens when officers get a little bit, I say, too emotional, too aggressive, you know, in a way, because they don't think, they don't de-escalate, because we're gonna escalate this, we're gonna follow this guy, or wait till he crashes and get thrown out of his van, or we're gonna wait till it's out cold, and then we'll all take turns beating him. No. And some officers do take too much adrenaline with a syringe. It gets my drift. Because you see a lot of them like this. You know. And and it's the roid rage, man, the roid rage. And they're protected by, we call it the union, the FOP, lobbyists. When does a department have lobbyists? They're not a political. They're not a political party, you know. But even officers have to take the time to think, you know, because every action has a opposite reaction, and that's a problem. Nobody thinks, you know. The term, what's the term? Act on instinct. So if the person that I stopped, who wasn't speeding, wasn't weaving in and out of the lane, wasn't on their phone, was wearing a seatbelt, stopped at every red light, had a working tail light, the light on the plate was working, where you can see that the plate number. There was none of that. They were just normal. And I put them over for no reason. Asked for their ID for no reason. Claimed that they were speeding and claimed that I paced them, which I never did. They never sped. So I got act on instinct without thinking, right? Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking. This is what's wrong with the academy today. The academies. They're trained because I know a criminal when I see one. Oh, okay. So you assume they're a criminal based on their skin. And how long have you been on the force? What? 37 years. Well, even 37 years, you should have had a brain by then. No. And there's a footage a few years ago of a pastor. It was in the news years ago, where a pastor was almost killed by Border Patrol. And they literally beat this guy. Like, beat this guy. Almost to death. You know? And the guy was calm. Respectful. One officer on their side broke the passenger window, tased him, they pulled him out, started beating the guy. And there's blood all over his car and everything else. And they sued the Border Patrol, and this officer from the Border Patrol lied under oath. And they pay out millions, not million, but I'll say about a million, about a couple mil, because one, they violated his rights. They know they killed this guy, and if he died, cover up, and it'll be his word against them. But look, he's alive, and he's still doing his sermons, and he's a preacher. A white guy, for instance, who almost died at the Border Patrol station, being respectful, who nearly died. Now, most of these stations are like along the border from Arizona to Texas. The stations are about nearly 100 miles away. Okay, stations are nearly 100 miles away, or even half of that. And we got one here in California, down the Arizona California border, and now my late great aunt used to play golf, and she knew Lee Trevino very well, the legendary golfer Lee Trevino, and she golfed. She went on tour. She was a golf. So she loved golf, and she loved golf, man. I mean, and so she would travel into California every now and then and do events, and she used to talk about this one lady who always never stopped talking, and she'd tell him, this lady, shut the fuck up, just keep your mouth shut, And because my aunt, my late great aunt lived in Kingman, Arizona, and there's a lot of golf courses in Kingman, Arizona, and they went to the border, the station, and but this lady did not know how to shut the fuck up. Kept talking. And they all play golf, and my late great aunt was smart. I always knew what to say. And if you said you're from Yuma, you're good. But if you're from Kingman, holy crap, that's when they stop. And this lady's probably dead by now, passed on by now. So, but it gets a little crazy at the Border Patrol station. That the one thing that's even worse is these checkpoints we have in the United States. Checkpoints, and when you exercise your constitutional rights, they don't like it. Oh man, they hate it when you do it. It gets so bad they want to take you out of the car because you're refusing to show ID or ask the question. Because according to the Constitution, you don't have to answer any questions. If they ask you a question, you don't need to answer any questions. But to them it's like, they're hiding something. I wonder why they don't answer any questions. Because according to the Constitution, they don't have to answer any questions under the Fifth Amendment. That's why they say, I plead the Fifth. Which they're right. I plead the Fifth, Ossifer. Did you just call me Ossifer? No. Ossifer. But the thing is, people get stupid. Not just law enforcement, but people too. Because they do not fucking think. All over 2020, from the first of the year, end of the year, people getting hurt, people dying, businesses getting torched, businesses getting looted, and they're terrorizing neighborhoods, and they're telling people, give up your homes to the brown and black community, black people. No. And these are young people. Hand over your homes to people who really need it. No. I did a video in 2020 where I said neighborhoods need to start having a surprise for these idiots. Paintballs. Non-lethal, but very artistic. And also a attention getter. Because maybe it'll get them to think that if we go here, I don't want to be black or blue. Definitely not purple. It's all this childish bullshit. And who started it? Black Lives Matter. The organization who ranked in. That means raked it all in $90 million, right? Then all of a sudden, you see this chick, Patrisse Cullors. She buys 4 houses in the amount of $3.2 million, and then BLM buys a mansion in Canada for $6 million. Then buys another mansion for another $6 million. Now, all of this, okay, makes her and her organization look really guilty. Now, she's on CNN, all crying, playing fucking victim. Do you know who are the real victims here? The ones who are making the donations. They're the victims because they don't know how the money's going to be used. They don't know that some of their money that they're donating is being used to buy 4 houses for $3.2 million, and $12 million of that was by a mansion in Canada and another one in Los Angeles. Now, to me, I'll be honest. If I co-founded an organization and made it a global organization, and we're ranking in $90 million in 2020, and here we are, we're getting all this money up in the almost $100 million, then I personally use $3.2 million to buy 4 homes, and then my organization pays $6 million for mentioned in Canada, and then another 6 million in LA or Fresno. That would make me look very, very guilty. It would. And the chapters of my organization would question me on, where did all the money go? You ranked in 90 million, but you're only showing 60 million. So where is the 30 million that you're supposed to have with the 60 million? See, 2020, $90 million. 2022, they showed to have only 60 million. Where did the $30 million go, Miss Colors? I mean, you and your organization, which is a fraud organization, a Ponzi scheme organization, and you can see pictures of them in one of the homes drinking wine. How come the IRS ain't looking at this? How come the IRS isn't looking into shit? So how come if I was running a global organization like BLM, and my organization ranked in $90 million in 2020, and I personally use, say, 3.2 million to buy 4 homes, and then another million to build the fence around one of them, then the organization spends 12 million. 6 million on a mansion in Canada, and 6 million in LA, hidden, but obviously you see it. I would look really, really guilty, and the IRS might want to look at my paperwork. Now, her brother is allegedly security of the facility, and he's making what, $800,000. Her mom's on the payroll too. Something does look fishy to me over here. It does look fishy, doesn't it? Now, think about this. She claims that her and the co-founders, her are also lesbians, founded the organization after Michael Brown died. And for 9 years, they've been around, okay? For a year and a half, for a whole year of 2020, the Black Lives Matter global organization ranked in $90 million, but they ranked in more than $100+ million. But she says it's a charitable organization, some kind of. But if they're ranking all this dough, if they're ranking all this money, and not shown to have a 50c3, status, bitch, it's time to pay the taxes here. Unless you're running a church, nobody cares. Unless you're running a mega church, which they're making billions of dollars, you know. For example, Joel Osteen, that dude's raking in billions of dollars every year, but how much is he using that on a nice fucking house? On what? 1,000 acres and shit? Nice home and whatnot? Too fucking good? This is mega church money that the network is getting from donors who will probably use that money for something else besides giving it to a bunch of fraudsters, you know. But it does sound fishy. I mean, so fishy it starts to stink after 20 minutes, you know. And you kind of wonder. I mean, like, really, really wonder, where's the money going to? Here's what I'm thinking. Charles Ponzi was a guy that, back in the late 1900s, was late, I'll say early to about, I'll say somewhere in the 20s, where, now, that's where the term Ponzi scheme comes from, is that Charles Ponzi was this guy who frauded people out of millions of dollars. I mean, he was the Bernie Madoff of his time. And the term Ponzi scheme is now considered a crime, but they kept the name Ponzi scheme. It's fraud, you know. And this is what the BLM organization's doing, is committing a Ponzi scheme, you know. And they use rags as the reason to bring in all this money, you know. And you got these young people being brainwashed, you know. They're starting their chapters, but one guy who saw right through it closed his chapter because he knew what was going on. And he talked about it, that any organization, any chapter, I mean, any chapter, okay? Say, if I started a chapter and it's on the website, and we're probably told, don't talk about money, don't talk about it, or don't question it. Or your chapter is removed from the website. Now, there's been about 10, 11 chapters that was removed from the website because they were questioning about the money. So when the news came out about Patricia Cullors buying 4 homes in the amount of $3.2 million, people are starting to question. And 10 chapters were questioning. They ain't stupid. So then you hear about them wanting to buy a mansion in Canada, which was a Freemason temple. Did they buy it? No. They're trying to. So then again, you hear about them spending another $6 million on another mansion in LA, which they did buy. And she says, well, they're attacking me, yada yada yada, all this shit, and you gotta understand, man. If she's playing the victim card, dude, that means she should be playing the race card until the day she fucking dies. Because here it's about we gotta save our people. Look, let's be honest here, folks. Let's be absolutely honest here. How many percentage of black people believe in this bullshit? How many? What's the percentage of black people in this country? What's the percentage of black people in this country that don't fall for this bullshit? A lot. But there's some that fall for it. And they started a chapter of the Ponzi organization, who technically didn't really see the money. Let's be honest. One chapter didn't see one dime. And they needed $80,000 for funeral expenses for people that had died. They didn't see one dime. Not one dime. And so they stopped blaming them because here's footage of them all at the table, smiling, drinking wine, living it up like cunts. And how come nobody is looking into this shit? If you took in $90 million in 2020, and you got Foot Locker, who's donating $200 million a year for 5 years, that adds up to $1 billion. Right? And once that was announced, who got looted after Foot Locker got looted? They don't care if you announce you're going to donate. Your stores are going to get looted no matter what you say or do. They're going to get looted, and you're going to lose. You're going to lose your ass, man. Don't say that you're going to donate. It don't matter. Your store is still going to get looted. If Apple says we're going to donate we're going to donate $15 million, they don't care. Your store is still going to get looted, no matter what. It's still going to get. Your stores are going to get looted, no matter what you say, because it's all based on emotion. They're all being brainwashed, as in, we need reparations. We've been suffering too long. No, what you need is a job and an ass whooping. Because only reparation you're going to get is jail time for being stupid. Only people that deserve reparations are the ones that suffer the most. That's the ones who went through the Jim Crow bullshit, nonsense, all that. Who went through the Civil Rights era and suffered. Not you. Motherfucker, you're in the 21st century. You're handed everything. You know? Here you are. I got me a nice cell phone. Got me a nice Bentley. And you're wanting reparations. I call the organization Black Lives Matter. The only black lives that matter are people who work their ass off. They get a real education and want to make the name for themselves by working hard. Not going around and looting, beating people. That's a criminal act. Look, it don't matter what skin color you have, it's your character that counts. Of what you do, your character will come into question. Not what's on your not what's on your body. Your character. If I fucked up, my character would be called into question. Not my skin color, my character. And why are we? The kid got shot, yeah. But here's the thing. He put himself there. He chose to drive fast. He chose to have a gun in possession. He chose to stop and run while wearing a damn ski mask. He's guilty. He's guilty. Okay? He looks guilty. Firing at cops ain't going to help you. Ain't going to help you. It'll make you look bad. By shooting at cops, cops are going to fire back. Okay? If you drive away from firing at somebody, they're going to fire back. Because why? You chose this. You chose to drive away, shooting back at cops. Okay? You can't blame the cops for shooting you and killing you. Because you put yourself in that position yourself. And what pisses me off is that they're saying, well, we need justice. No, you need fucking common sense, you dumb fuck. The guy, yeah, he got shot and killed. Yeah, why? Because he chose to put himself there. If he was Hispanic, same fucking scenario. White, same scenario. Because why? Because he chose to put himself in that position himself. Cops are doing their job, man. Yes, he was shot 60 times. Yeah, that was excessive. I agree with that. But it was fucking justified. This is something that nobody wants to hear, because if they do, we need to cancel them. Fuck you. Fuck you. You can't cancel me. I don't give a fuck. If you put yourself in a position where you get shot by a cop because you fired first, guess what? Hey, let's go with another example. Okay? Another example. If a cop knocks on your door, announce themselves. Police. And the guy you're dating fires first. Okay? We're talking about Miss Brand here. Nurse. The guy she's with was a drug dealer. Okay, drug dealer. The cops, from what we were told, the cops did not announce themselves. Okay, the thing is, if you fire at somebody, they're gonna fire back. Okay? Because action, reaction. Either way. But she got shot and died. Who's really at fault? Think. Who's really at fault? Can't blame her. She's a victim. So the thing is, people jump to conclusions without getting any facts. They assume that cops did not announce themselves. That's why this guy shot first. But here's the thing. Would he shot at him if an officer announced themselves? Police. Dude, I mean, people saying, well, she had bad choices. She has bad choices of men. Don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear that. It's like, if somebody has a choice of bad, have a really bad choices of men, well, it's on them. Well, it's on them. But don't bring it up, because all you're doing is adding fuel to the fire. That which you should have just mind your own damn business and get a investigation done. You know, I mean, if instead of jumping to conclusions, get an autopsy done, investigation, and investigate. Okay. If they were smart, they would be patient enough to wait for the autopsy and the findings. You know. And where's the footage? I mean, if I had a place, I would make sure I have a camera outside my fucking door. Okay. And as well as in the house, you know. At the front door. Because nobody knows what happened. Okay? Nobody knows what happened. They assume they do, but what happened there? Did neighbors see anything? Did neighbors hear anything? Nobody knows. They just assume cops busted in, the boyfriend who's a drug dealer fired fire at him. That's why she died. Here's my question. Here. Could the boyfriend have a warrant for his arrest? And the cops didn't announce themselves. And after hearing that, he fired, which they fired back, killing her. I mean, you gotta think about that too. Is that, could he have a warrant for his arrest? He's hiding out with his girlfriend, or she's with him at his place. Cops got a tip. They go and follow the tip. They knock on the door. Police. One shot fired, and more shots returned, leaving her the victim. dead. You know. I mean, that's something you guys need to look into that too. You know. And that's why we all need to take the time to think for once in our lives, man. Because nobody does it. Nobody takes the time to think about the consequences of the outcome. They jump to conclusions without, you know. And this is what's wrong today. Nobody thinks. Nobody, you know, they just assume on instinct. Well, maybe if you put your instinct to bed for a moment, kind of use your head and think for a while. Alright folks, please share this video. If you're new to this channel, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below. And I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Always live healthy, happy, and wise. I love you guys. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out. Godspeed.